So here it is, the Insta360 X4. We've been waiting a while for them to release the camera to actually update the X3, which they're still selling, by the way. This is a more pro version of the X3. The X4 has made a big leap. There's lots of new features and upgrades to this camera, which we are going to cover in this video today. I'm going to teach you all about it, tell you everything you need to know about the new Insta360 X4. I've just made a video as well about the GoPro 12, comparing it against the X4. I'll link that above if you want to check out that video. But in this video, we're just talking X4, all the new features and everything that's fantastic about this new 360 camera. So the first feature is it's got 8K 360 video in 30 frames per second, and that's a 78% increase in the pixel density compared to the X3. So the 360 image has been greatly increased, which means the export of the 360 footage has been greatly increased as well. The image is much improved and it is very, very good. 8K looks exceptional. It's 8K in H.265. It's only one file now produced in 360 footage, which saves with the storage, saves with the processing. So editing the 8K footage isn't a problem, especially on the application and on the desktop studio, no matter what computer you've got, Windows or Mac. And I'm going to talk more on the editing process later on the video. If you want to skip through the chapters, by the way, you can do. They'll all be linked in the description down below. So don't worry about shooting in 8K. The app can handle it, the desktop studio can handle it. It really is very simple and easy to use, and they've much improved the app and the desktop studio over the recent weeks, and the update of the studio at 5.0 is very, very good indeed. So like I said, we'll be talking about that later on in the video. I've had the camera for a few weeks now and the 8K looks brilliant. It really is good, and a big increase over the 5.7K 30 frames per second you got on the X3. So you've got that 8K footage, 360, that's the first big upgrade. Next, they've given you great options to slow down the footage. Well, a few in fact, and we've now got 5.7K 60. The X3 was limited to 5.7K 30 frames per second. So we can slow it down by half now, get slow motion in really crispy, good footage with the 5.7K 60. You've also got 4K in 100 frames per second, and you've also got 2.7K in 120 frames per second in Me mode, and Me mode has been improved. Really impressive. I like the Me mode, actually. One of my favourite features about this camera that they've updated with the X4. So Me mode, you can actually shoot forwards and backwards now. So basically what you do with Me mode is you hold the stick out in front of you, no need for reframing, and it shoots a vertical video in 4K 60 as well as 120 frames per second in 2.7K. So they've increased it from 1080p in the X3 to 4K 60 and slow motion 120 frames per second in 2.7K. So it's a great feature and great if you're shooting a lot of vertical content. So the 4K 100 in 360 is great, but they've also added 5.7K bullet time, which is a big increase over the 1080p from bullet time on the X3. So we've now got 5.7K bullet time. That's great. It's an amazing effect, and you can do it in the application. And yeah, you have to buy the accessory, but they're available. I'll link everything you need in the description down below. So that's the other big upgrade. And the next feature I'm going to tell you about is something that I think is really important when it comes to why you choose this camera over something like the GoPro or the DJI Action 4. It's got 4K 60 now in single lens mode. The X3 was limited to 4K 30, which was fine for single lens mode. It looks good for vlogging and stuff like that. But for action sports, it was a little bit limited. You need 60 frames per second really for action sports to get really nice, sharp, smooth footage for mountain biking, for instance. And the X4 has that now, 4K 60 in single lens mode. And this really does truly make it officially a 2-in-1 option for action sports and other things like adventure videos, because you've got that 360 in 8K, 5.7K 60, and now you've also got an action sport camera which is genuinely comparable to something like the GoPro 12, 4K 60 footage for mountain biking or skateboarding, whatever you're doing. So it truly now is a fully fledged 2-in-1 camera and makes it great value. They've also improved the field of view, so you've now got max view in single lens mode. It's also got free frame mode, which they've borrowed from the Ace Pro and something like the Go 3, where you can shoot and have horizon lock, and you can then in post-production change it to vertical or horizon, just depending on what sort of footage that you want. So free frame mode, you've got Me mode, you've got bullet time, you've got 8K 30, you've got 4K 60, and you've got that Me mode slow motion for vertical video. So they've added a lot of new frame rates and upped the power of this camera. Talking of power, it's got the 5nm chip from the Ace Pro, which is an AI chip, adds a lot more power, increases the transfer speeds to the application from your camera to the phone, and makes things like editing in the app and adding special features like AI warp a lot faster than it was previously with the X3. So yeah, that's a great feature. That a lot of power. The UI is a lot quicker, very nice to use, very smooth, and just does as it's told. This screen, I like that, unlike the GoPro screen, which is a little bit glitchy. The user experience of this camera is unbelievable. The other main reason why I always pick up something like the X4, the X3 when I leave the house over a standard action camera is the fact you've got that invisible selfie stick look. The invisible selfie stick is fantastic because it gives you like a floating cameraman third person view. It basically removes the selfie stick out of the stitching line in the software automatically for you, no matter what sort of mode you're shooting in. It really is great and a very unique look compared to other action cameras on the market. People always ask me, how did you get that shot? And I have to show them, I explain to them how I did it, how easy it was to edit, and how easy that it just does it for you in the application and the desktop studio. It's a really unique look. You can be very creative with it, and that's why I always pick a 360 camera like the X4 over other standard action cameras out there. So you've got three ways to edit your footage. You've got AI, you've got Quick, and you've got Pro. Basically, AI is letting the AI do it for you. It's really simple. You just press a button and it'll give you a few clips and drafts to choose from, and you can choose the one that you think fits best. You've got Quick, which is basically using the phone's gyroscope to move around. So when you move the phone left and right, like so, it will actually follow the shot. So you press record, hold it down, and wherever you're pointing your phone will be what will be produced in the final video. It's really easy and probably the easiest way to edit your footage. Then you've got Pro, which is basically doing everything yourself. You add keyframes, so what you do is add a little keyframe at the bottom of the frame there. We move around where we want the image to be. We press update keyframe, we play it along, and so what I want to do is move the camera right to left, and track me. So I'm going to add another keyframe. I'm going to move it on the screen. Like so, you can drag with your fingers or press the arrows left and right, update keyframe, and then when you play it back like that, the camera will move right to left and track me as I go around here. Then I'm going to add a few more different keyframes around, left and right. We'll press update keyframe. I'll keep on walking around in a circle. I'm going to press another keyframe, move it right to left, update keyframe. Then I've got 4 keyframes and it tracks me as I go around, and that's the beauty of 360 footage. If you want to export it, you simply just press export. You can export it as a flat image, which adds those keyframes and tracks you around, or you can edit as a 360 video like so, and that basically records everything anyway when you're recording video, and you export it as a 360 video and you can upload it to something like Google Earth. You can add a quick export, which does the frame rates and resolution for you, or you can customize it in here by pressing 4K frame rate and up the bit rate if you want to. If you want to export these keyframes and then carry on editing in the desktop studio, you press the 3 dots at the top right hand corner. You've got all these different things here for flow state stabilization. You've got different accessories, so if you're using the lens guards, you select the lens guard here like so. But if you want to edit the data and export the data and save it to the camera storage on your SD card, you just press this button here, export to camera storage. It exports that to the camera storage, and then when you take the SD card out, put it into the computer, you can carry on editing on the desktop studio, and that's what we'll do now. Right, so we are inside of the desktop studio 5.0. I've done a whole review on this. I'll link it up above if you want to check out like my deep dive into it. But this is basically what we're seeing. And then you can see this clip that I edited on the app has got the keyframes along the bottom here, and that is the stuff that I've already done on the application, and then it's transferred the data to the desktop studio. So it's really powerful, the fact you can use the app and the desktop studio in conjunction with each other. So we can do different things. We can change the fade in and out, the transition, and then you've got all the options on the right hand side for the different lenses, color plus, logo and stuff. And then with the Studio 5.0, we've got this bit up here which is called project. So we want to add a new project. That takes that clip and then any other clips you've edited into a project folder, and you can add different things like text overlays and transitions and effects. It's a really good fully fledged editing software now for your 360 footage, so it's really good. So it generates a project. We go into here, we're just going to leave it as entitled. And then this is the footage that we've done. We'll drag it onto the timeline. This is a timeline down here, and you can see the keyframes are there from the previous page and from the app. So everything's all streamlined together. It's very, very easy. Then in this project folder, project page, you've got different things. So you can change the image, you can change the audio, we can do all the transitions and everything. You can deep track as well. But over here, you've got different things like music. You can add all different music, which is copyright free and it's provided by Insta360, free to use with this app. Then you've got text, where they're not only just standard text, they're actually animated text, which is brilliant. So for you guys that are really trying to get into this and really make simple videos, then you've got all these different effects in here ready for you. It's great. Then you've got a bunch of transitions as well, which is a great feature, especially for editing 360 footage. You can be really creative with it. And along the side, along here, if you want to just at the end of this bit create a clip, we just press Command B and it clips it, and then we can delete that bit and then add another bit of footage, another bit of media into the clip as well. So, and then if you want to add a transition, we'll drag that over there and it drags it onto there, and then when you play the clip from here, and it will transition into the next clip. It really is very, very powerful, and the fact, again, I will keep on saying it because I love how easy it is to do from the app. Transfer over to the desktop studio, all the stuff that you've done on the app transfers over, keyframes are there, and then you can just really play with your footage and make it really exceptional inside the Desktop Studio 5.0. So yep, it's a great software and I really do fully recommend it. So the other big update is that it's got AI gesture control now, which is brilliant if you've got it mounted somewhere difficult. If you're moto vlogging, for instance, and you've got it mounted on the bike and you have gloves on and you don't want to actually press record, or you're not using the GPS remote, which this is compatible with, by the way, you can use gestures to start and stop recording, and you can use a gesture to take a photo as well. So hands-free, voice control and gesture control now, just like the Ace Pro, another great upgrade. We've touched briefly on bullet time, 5.7K bullet time now. It's also got 11K time lapse, which I've been doing some comparisons, like I'll show you in the video now, against the GoPro, and it's far superior compared to the GoPro. Great 11K time lapse, and also 8K time shift, which is like time warp from GoPro, and you can get some really cool effects. You can add tracking in post-production to track round objects and get some really nice, amazing time shift shots. Great for bunging on the top of the car and letting it run, and you get some sick shots. So yeah, those are the other two improvements. Big bump up in resolution, and it's still available to edit within the application. So easy to do. So the camera is a lot bigger. It's a bit chunkier, a bit wider, a bit taller. The screen is bigger. It's 2.5 inches compared to the 2.25 inches on the X3. So yeah, the camera is bigger, but it has a bigger battery in there. The battery is 67% bigger. You've got a 2,290 milliamp battery inside, and it can give you up to 135 minutes of 5.7K 30 footage. Obviously the 8K uses the battery a little bit more, so it's reduced, but the battery in this camera is far superior than the X3. 67% bigger, and yeah, you can notice it. I haven't had to charge this when I've been using it for the day. It's been really exceptional so far. Build quality wise, it's just the same ruggedness as the X3, and it's got this nice rubberized texture on the outside, which I love. It feels solid. It's got the visible stick mount on the bottom. All the ports and the doors and everything are nice. The buttons are clicky. It feels just as good as the X3 did build quality wise. But this actually has lens guards that come in the case. So if you get these plastic lens guards, you get this little pouch in the box, and these little plastic lens guards come with the camera, and they twist on now. You got this like little lock mechanism on the camera. You can put the lens guard on there and twist it on, so to protect those lenses. So they're not actual replaceable lenses in here, but they come with this new accessory which is actually lockable on there to protect them from getting scratched. If you want to buy the premium lens guard, which comes with sort of a Gorilla Glass tempered glass anti-scratch resistant material, these are available to buy as well separately. I'll link them in the description, but these cause less distortion. You've got really crisp image quality. They don't affect the image quality that much at all, and then you've got pretty much great protection on there for the camera, and you can do action sports with that single lens mode and not worry about dirt and stuff scratching the lenses. So that's a great upgrade to the X4 this year. You've got those premium lens guards and the lens guards that come in the box to protect the lenses on this X4. You've of course got flow state stabilization in there. It's as good as ever. It's not, they haven't necessarily improved it, but I don't think it needs improving. It just looks as good as it always has. GoPro tend to say we've got a new generation of Hypersmooth, but I'm not sure how much better it can get, to be honest. This takes it a step further, where you've got 360 horizon lock instead of horizon lock with the GoPro. No matter which way you tilt this left and right or forward and backwards, it will keep the horizon level, unlike the GoPro, which just does the rotation for horizon lock. So that's another advantage of having a 360 camera. And then the 4K single lens mode, of course, just acts as a standard field of view camera, which is, you know, officially now this is genuinely a 2-in-1 camera. I love that about the X4. So talking of data transfer speeds, because we've obviously got the new chip inside, we've also got USB-C 3.0 from USB-C 2.0, which was in the X3. So faster data transfer speeds. The Wi-Fi transmission has been improved as well, up to 58%. So that's what a lot of you are asking. Quicker transfer speeds to the app and quicker data transfer speeds via the USB-C port, so that has been improved as well in the X4. Finally, it's of course compatible with all of Insta360's accessories. It's compatible with the GPS remote, the invisible selfie stick, the 3-meter selfie stick. You've also got the new premium lens guards, all the new accessories, the bullet time cord, the bullet time handle. Everything that you want to use this with, you can use it with this camera. So there's just a plethora of different accessories that Insta360 come out with seemingly weekly at the moment, and I'll be covering a lot of those accessories in future videos, so make sure you do subscribe, press the bell so you don't miss any future uploads. So yeah, in conclusion, it's a great upgrade. They're still selling the X3, which makes me think it's more of a pro version of the X3 rather than a new version. So if you're after just light-hearted, you know, general exploring, filming videos with a family, then the X3 might still be okay for you. But if you want the absolute best image quality out of a 360 camera and a genuine 4K single lens mode 60 frames per second action camera in one, then for $499, this is an absolute bargain. If you wanted to buy the equivalent from any other manufacturers, you'd have to spend double on their 360 camera, and the field of view camera like the GoPro and the GoPro Max, for instance, would cost you, you know, $700, $800. But this is $499, and you get the best of both worlds. I've been really impressed with it. I'll be testing it extensively over the next weeks and months to come. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss those uploads. That's the Insta360 X4, the first 8K 360 camera available on the market that shoots 8K with H.265, 5.7K 60, 4K single lens mode 60 frames per second, 5.7K bullet time, 11K time lapse, 8K time shift, and that new 4K me mode as well, which really impressed me. So it's a great camera. That's it for this video though. If you want to check out this video about the GoPro comparison, check out that one, and I'll link another video you might like over here, and make sure you subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Bye guys.